I want to thank the members of the press for being here this evening. You all have played an important role today as we kept citizens both in Atlanta and Cobb County informed, asked for their assistance as we sought the apprehension of this very dangerous perpetrator. And thank you for returning tonight to again update those of our various communities. The mayor spoke today of a capable, competent, and brave response by the first responder network that served not only this city but this region. And I just want the men and women of the Atlanta Police Department to know, those that are in our 911 center, our first responding officers, our tactical teams, our investigators, how proud yet again I am of you of the work that you have done today on behalf of this city. And in the most dire of circumstances, you have shown what you do daily for the men and women that call this city home and those that visit here. But if you look closely on the earliest views from the crime scene, you saw not only the Atlanta Police Department responding, you saw a network of officers representing multiple agencies who have trained for this various outcome, Mr. Mayor, over and over again, that a day that this tragedy should befall this city that we would be ready. And I stand here today to tell you that the first responder network was there today for their city. The Sheriff of Fulton County, Sheriff Labatt, the Georgia State Patrol, the MARTA Police Department, Georgia Tech Police Department, Georgia State University, marshals, they were all on scene quickly, executing their active shooter protocol to stop this situation. And then very shortly we were joined by the GBI, the FBI, the Secret Service, as well as United States Marshal Service as we sought to bring this person into custody. And that investigation soon showed us that this perpetrator had left the city and remained a threat elsewhere. And Sheriff Van Hooser, I just want you to know that we are a grateful city tonight for your partnership and the efforts of your law enforcement agency to take this individual into custody. And then this morning we celebrated the bravery of Atlanta Fire Rescue, not far from here as for their annual commemoration of Firefighters Day. And to see the paramedics and firefighters, when we did not know where the shooter was, that could easily have still been in the building around the corner, to see our firefighters dismount their trucks and Chief Smith go into that situation. But it wasn't the first time I've seen that, Chief, because we had seen that in training over and over again. And today, when it was necessary to save lives, we were very proud to see you a strong partnership as we moved into that dangerous situation. And thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask our Deputy Chief of Criminal Investigations, Charles Hampton, to come forward to recap what has transpired today, what we have learned from the investigation, and then Chief Van Hooser will come forward to outline how his department led to the capture of this perpetrator today. Chief.
Good evening. What we do know, we know that shortly before noon, the subject entered into 1110 West Peachtree Street and went to a medical center inside the building. It was shortly thereafter that he shot our first victim, and then the first 911 call came after that. He spent about maybe 2 minutes inside the building where he then exited on foot. And what we were able to pick up on the camera network system is that he went to a Shell gas station where he commandeered a vehicle. That pickup truck was left running unattended, and he took that vehicle. We were able to again use video to obtain a tag and immediately place that tag into our LPR system, our license plate reader system. And so at that time, we had to really do some work to figure out where he was at. There was a series of search warrants drafted both here in Atlanta and Cobb County because we were getting information of residents and other locations that he may go to. So that was done as well. And then roughly around 12:30, we received an alert from the LPR system that he was in Cobb County. And so that, again, we were on the phone immediately with Cobb to let them know that this individual was somewhere in their jurisdiction. And as Chief said, we'll then let Chief Van Hooser just kind of talk about what happened in his jurisdiction. But I would tell you that although we may not have known exactly where he was, as soon as we were alerted that he was out of our area of responsibility, we contacted that local jurisdiction and that coordination took place. Chief.
Good evening. My name is Stuart Van Hooser. I'm the police chief in Cobb County, just north of Atlanta. And first of all, I want to very much express our collective condolences to the families involved, and know that me personally, and I'm sure collectively, from all of those who were involved in today's incident, that our prayers and thoughts are with the families that have been affected by this. Of course, we saw what was going on the news. We had heard through our networks of what was going on in Atlanta when we discovered that the individual had last been identified on a flock LPR camera in our jurisdiction. Of course, we sent officers to that area and set up, not so much a perimeter, but we began to look for the vehicle. And I will be honest with you, first of all, let me apologize in advance. I have not prepared a statement. I have not had time to prepare a statement. So what I'm giving you guys is not planned, and I will probably make a few mistakes, and I'll probably forget to thank some people. But what I can tell you is this: these are massively complex investigations, and information comes in so quickly, and it is so confusing and so contradicting that we find that we are often trying to go 3 or 4 different places very quickly, each seeming to be the suspect. And so that was what was happening today. We had, it was a fairly chaotic scene. We were being called to various locations in that area about what appeared to be legitimate sightings of this individual. And there was some fear, of course, in the citizens in that area, of course. So our officers were responding to those calls, and I will say this: if you rewind the hand of time 4 years, we probably would not be where we are today right now. Technology played a huge role, but technology doesn't do any good without people who are determined to capture an individual that would do something like this. And today we saw where those two things came together in an amazing way. Nobody went home today. Everybody stayed. We have a fairly new real-time crime center by a local company named Fusus. Flock is a fairly new company. It's a local company as well. We have partnered with both of those companies, and they have brought us some amazing tools, as has the other jurisdictions in the Atlanta area. Those tools are what really got us the clues that we needed to make this successful, and the people that were getting those clues from that technology made this happen. So we had a lot of clues, enough clues from both our real-time crime center and Flock to have a pretty good instinct on the calls that were coming in. We had checked a building that we knew that he had gone into, and we had cleared that building, and we knew that he was not in that building. That building was unoccupied. It was being built. It was very close to Truist Park and the Battery, which of course was very concerning to us, as that's many people would be in that location. So we were concerned about the safety of our community in general, but particularly that one. So the operators in our real-time crime center were fielding many of these calls and looking at them and trying to determine which ones seemed legitimate, which ones did not. And most of that is a little bit of gut, but it was also based on some of the things that we were seeing on the map and what made sense to the real-time operators. One real-time operator in particular saw a 911 call come in, literally said, "I think this is going to be him," and it was mostly instinct, but a lot of it did have to do with where this call was coming in and where this individual was supposed to be. That real-time operator communicated with the 911 operator that was in the command center with us, and we prioritized that call on the radio, and we had some officers, both undercover and uniformed officers. I believe, if I have my facts correct, that an undercover officer was the one that originally saw and confronted this individual and was able to then have backup from uniformed officers that came in and took him into custody without incident. I would forget, and I will forget, some of the people and organizations to thank, but I can reiterate what Mayor Dickens and Chief Shearbaum said, and there's no reason to really go back into all of it, but I can tell you that it does not work without a cooperative community, a community that backs up the police, that allows the police to take risks and try to take violent people into custody. We have a very, very supportive community in Cobb County, a very supportive elected official group and very supportive leadership, and that's very, very important for us. We had great community members who were calling us and giving us information. We have a 911 center who has shared their data with us. We have a DOT that gave us information and access to cameras that we did not have previously, and those cameras proved extremely helpful today. That is where we got the precise location of the building that he walked into. So the amazing cooperation between many that you would not really consider a public safety agency like the Department of Transportation, and all the public safety agencies in Cobb County, the cities. GSP helped us with Overwatch and with a helicopter. It's just you can't really thank people without missing someone. But hats off to everybody who was involved in this and all of the foundation of the technology that was laid. And lastly, I'll have to say that the communication between agencies in Metro Atlanta has probably never been this good, particularly from the Atlanta Police Department. Incredible outreach with Chief Sherbaum and the whole team here. And we were here just last week learning things from the Atlanta Police Department. So thank you to everyone who was involved in this. We're, of course, honored to have been a part of it, and thank everyone who was involved. Thank you.